All right, folks. So we have the Mr. Olympia this Friday and Saturday night. It is the open class I'm mostly interested in, so that's what I'll be talking about here today. I want to give you my predictions and where I see people stacking up, and let me know what you guys think. Do you disagree with me? Do you think I'm on the money? Do you think I'm completely wrong? We did the Arnold predictions a couple of weeks ago. I was dead right with my choice for Nick Walker. So that was a reminder everyone of that. So let's crack on with this. I could be completely wrong here, but I think I'm right. So firstly, let's look at who is competing. Now, here's the list which I bought up from Buys and Tries. Now, we've got, I'm just going to call out the guys who I know are competing. So James Hollingshead, Nick Walker, Regan Grimes, Patrick Moore, Big Ramy, Akeem Williams, Brandon Curry, Andrea Presti, Hunter Labrada, Hadi Chupan, Ian Valliere, Nathan Deasher, William Bonak, Justin Rodriguez, Ruli Winkler, Mohamed Shaban, and Hassan Mustafa. Now, from that list, I'm pretty sure, well, Phil's not going to be competing, Phil Heath. Bonak, there's a question mark over. Well, he did release that statement talking about William the Conqueror, God knows what else, but he also didn't manage to make it to the Arnold. So, I mean, you're not going to be conquering anything if you don't actually attend the battleground. So I'm not sure if he's going to be there. If he is, great. He's a great competitor, but I think a bit of a question mark over whether he'll be there. Nathan Deasher, also a question mark over whether he'll be there. So on to my top three. Now, I want to just say I'm basing this off mostly size and conditioning. I think we are way past the Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler era where just size matters. I mean, Ronnie consistently beat Jay just from being bigger than him. When Ronnie finally retired and Jay got in shape, he looked far better, in my opinion. And I think since then, although towards the tail end of Phil's career, he was getting softer and softer, I think, we've moved back towards conditioning and conditioning wins, as shown by Roden when he beat Phil. Didn't have the same level of size, even the same level of detail in some of the muscles, but overall conditioning was far better. And I think we're at the stage now where conditioning definitely wins a lot more than just size alone. So I'm basing my top three on the fact that they are most likely to be in condition and hold excellent size, because all these guys in the top 10, they all hold a lot of size. But it's who looks the biggest on stage due to high degree of muscularity. So without further ado, here's my top three. Here we go. It is these three. You probably guessed it. We've got Ramy, Hadi, and Nick. And yeah, I know some of you are going to be like, well, you're overplaying Nick's card here, but I don't think I am. I really don't. I'll tell you a story about Nick, actually. A few years ago, before he was a pro, I was almost about to get him onto the podcast to do an interview with him. I'd been doing interviews with a number of high-level NPC amateurs on my podcast. You can check it out. And but I was burnt out by the time I got around to him, so I never did a podcast with him. But I knew he was something special right back then. Just there was something about him. And then he went on the year after to beat everyone else, won the NPC championships. I wanted to do the interview after he got beaten by Mert Diesel the year prior. But yeah, I mean, I think he's something special, and I think he's proven that now, winning 2 back-to-back pro shows. I think he's 100% the real deal. Good amount of size and ridiculous conditioning, which is what wins shows. Then you've got Hadi. Hadi consistently conditioned. I would say last year wasn't his best. The year before probably was better. I don't think he's going to miss the mark this year at all. I think he's going to come in, as he always does, absolutely peeled out of his mind. Massive, great personality, really good on stage, good with the crowd, good with the people. I think he's going to be awesome. So yeah, I think Hadi's going to be in the top 3, and I think there's also going to be Ramy. Now, in terms of breaking these guys down of who's going to be actually number 1, 2, and 3, I'll tell you what I think one by one. So if we go over to Ramy first of all. Now, with Ramy, I personally don't feel like just because he is a current Mr. Olympia, I don't feel like we're going to see him outside of the top 3 just solely based on that. Like, for example, Phil Heath, I think he was pretty much gifted his spot last year. I don't think he deserved to be up that high at all. I think Phil, based on the strength of him being an ex-Mr. Olympia and being Phil Heath, was given the spot. I think there were many more guys on that stage who are far more conditioned to him. And I think Ramy, no matter how he comes in, he'll be top 3. Just sheer size, the fact he's an ex-Mr. Olympia, they're not going to drop him down past the top 3. And I don't think he could be that far out. But what I will say is Ramy is, like, firstly, I was his biggest fan when he finally nailed it last year, because I've been waiting for him to nail it for a long, long time. Let's refresh this page. Been waiting for him to nail it for a long time, but we can't forget that this is the same Ramy who missed the mark for like 7 years prior. So yeah, he's amazing, great personality. We all love the guy. He's like, how can you not like Ramy? He's awesome. But he has consistently missed the mark for like years and years before he finally got it. I know he's with Chad Nichols now, and I know Chad's got a reputation for getting people in shape. But hey, you know, I think it's also equally possible that Ramy could miss the mark this year. And if he misses the mark, when Ramy misses the mark, like it goes very, very wrong very quickly for him, because he loses a lot of definition. And I think if that happens, he could quite easily drop down to 2nd or 3rd place. I don't see there'll be a problem with that whatsoever, particularly because the current trend is to reward conditioning, which is what Ramy's always struggle with. So I think if Ramy's in shape, he's unbeatable. So Ramy would be my pick number 1 for 1st place. So next up, we've got Hadi Chupan. Again, another great personality. Love Hadi. He's so friendly, and he's so nice, you know. And he's also got, I don't know if you guys saw him in the off season, he was doing his like Hulk Hogan thing where he had dyed his beard and he was wearing all these like American flags. It was brilliant. Like he just seems like such a cool guy. He does stuff like this, which is great. These videos. Let's see if I can load him up. There we go. But yeah, he's hilarious. But anyway, I think he's awesome. So yeah, definitely the people's champ. And also he's just insanely big, insanely conditioned. I think he's going to be bringing his A game and going for the win. And then, so I would probably put Hadi. I think I'm going to put Hadi. Yeah, I think I can't really separate it. Now, I put Ramy as my number 1 pick. I will say, though, that if Ramy drops down, Hadi could just as well pick up and hit the number 1 spot. I don't see there's anything missing in Hadi's physique that means he couldn't take the number 1 spot. And bear in mind, Hadi will be improved. He'll have another 5 pounds of muscle on him going into this show. So Hadi, I'd put as either 1st or 2nd or 3rd, really. Not very committal there, but I think the top 3 are very, very close. I'm only edging it towards Ramy simply because he is the existing champion. Next, on to Nick. I think Nick's more than proven now he deserves to be on stage with these guys. I think in terms of his conditioning at the Arnold, I just thought he was absolutely insane. I really do. I just think this guy's pure class. Amazing physique. Where I think his weaknesses will be shown up on the stage against guys like Hadi and guys like Ramy is his legs don't have quite as much sweep as Ramy. But I think everywhere else he is untouchable. You know, he'll stand right up there with the 1st and 2nd spot. I can't see him placing out of the top 3 unless something drastically wrong happens. And I could also see him clinching it. Yes, I am. You know, I don't think at this stage we can say realistically he won't be able to clinch it if people are off. I don't think that's taking it too far. I don't think that's fanboying. I think it's perfectly legitimate at this stage. He's 260 pounds, absolutely shredded out of his mind. Jay Cutler was about 255 when he did the 2008 quad stomp or 2006 quad stomp. So it's not out of the realms of possibility. Like, I'm not saying he's Jay quality, but he's not far off. You know, he's not as bubbly as Jay, but god damn, he's not far off. So top 3 for me is Ramy, Hadi, and Nick. I'm going to lean towards Ramy simply because he's an existing champion and he's just got so much size. I will say, though, that both Hadi and Nick have got the type of conditioning where they could slip into that number 1 spot if Ramy's off, 100%. Now, on to... So I don't actually think the top 3... I spent less time thinking about the top 3 than I did thinking about the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go through the next 5. So far, in no particular order, I think we've got to start the conversation with Brandon Curry. Brandon is an amazing champ. He's huge, shredded, lean. Only place where he's potentially let down is in the legs. Apparently, the legs have improved. He was improved last year. I'll say that. Like, he's not stopped improving. People can say he was missing legs last year as well, but he was leaner last year. It's the leanest he's ever been. He was absolutely peeled last year, and yes, his legs still maintained a good degree of size. So he would have made improvements on his legs. They weren't just leaner; they were bigger as well. So Brandon Curry, I think you've got to have him right up there. In terms of the next 4, I think you've got to have Curry right up there. You know, in contention for as high as 4th place. He could slip to 3rd as well if one of the other 3 are particularly off that day. So Brandon's the first of my next tier of athletes. The next in my next tier of athletes is going to be Bonak. I know there's a question mark over whether he'll make it or not, but he did release his statement. I'm not going to read it out because it was pure cringe. But I don't think you can overlook Bonak if he's in shape. He's got a great shape on him. He's shredded. I just feel with Bonak, like it's only downhill from here. I don't feel he can get any bigger. I don't feel he can get any more conditioned. I think he's done amazing with the physique he has, but I think he's tapped out. So I would put him up there in the top sort of 4 to 7 spots or 4 to 8 spots. But I don't think he's going to do any more damage than that. I'm pretty sure he's not going to crack the top 3. So that's Will. Then next we have Ian Valliere. I think Ian's proven that he is a top-level competitor. He's edged out Kuklo, which was well-deserved, by the way. And I've said before, I'm not a fan of Kuklo's physique. Always too soft in the midsection for me. Ian is a high-level athlete. I think he's proven that he's well capable of standing up there. He also came, I think, 6th last year. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. So top-tier physique. I don't think he's elite tier, but I think he's right up there in the top 7 for sure, 100%. Next, we've got Hunter Labrada. Hunter's a bit of a question mark because while he quite clearly had Ian's number previously when they went up head-to-head, he's improved massively since then. I think he's going to be a real dark horse. I think we've not seen him for a while, but damn, he is good. Like, he is really freaking good. And he would have grown since then. He works. So Hunter Labrada will be there in the top 7, no doubt. And finally, the homegrown James Hollingshead. Now, James is an interesting one because he appeared on Fuad Abiad's podcast recently, and he was very, very confident. It's not often that competitors are that confident. I will say this, though. When competitors are that confident, they're usually wrong. There were some notable exceptions, like Sean Roden, when he beat Phil. He was very confident then. But there have been many competitors who are that confident who are just wrong. So I hope he's not, because I really like James. I really like James a lot. I think he's a really nice guy. He's a really nice character. I've actually spoken to him quite a lot on DMs. So I hope he fulfills his potential. And if he does, and if he arrives on stage looking like we all think he's going to look this year, then I think he'll be top 7, no doubt. Now, just to go back to the original list, I think there should be an honorable mention for Justin Rodriguez. I've not put him in the top 8 simply because I think while he did crack the Arnold, I thought he was amazing at the Arnold, and you could have made a case for him being 3rd at the Arnold. Like, really, I think he was amazing. I'm putting him outside the top 8 simply because I think his conditioning has been inconsistent. So whether he's going to nail it here, I don't know. I've also placing Akeem out of the top 8 because I think when he's on, but he sacked his coach. I just don't think he's going to be on. I don't think he's going to be on, personally. And if you look at Regan Grimes, amazing physique, like put on a lot of mass. I'm a big Regan fan, to be fair. But right now, I haven't seen him compared head-to-head against many of the others, so I can't realistically put him in the top 8. Same with Patrick Moore. I think he's made big improvements. This is probably going to be one of the best top 10s that we've seen in years. Like, this is a highly competitive Olympia. I am so excited for it. So yeah, it's going to be great. But let me know what you think. Let me know who your top 5, top 10 are, top 3, whether you agree, disagree, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Let's see how it goes.